Hi, welcome to Young Climate, a series based on not only climate change, but the youth's views on climate change through our eyes. I'm your host, Alexia, and today we're going to talk about pollinators and what effects they have on the earth. I'm here with Miette La Faver and Sonya La Faver. Sonya La Faver is in the Nature Club at the Discovery Center in our community. She loves to garden and she has a passion for animals and loves to explore nature. Hi, Sonya.
Hi.
And hi, Miette. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name is Miette La Faver. I'm an aspiring environmental lawyer and horse trainer. I've been attending an animal science class for about 2 years now. We focus mainly on animals, but we also focus on the environmental impact that animals have. Um, I also have experience volunteering with sheltered animals, livestock, and horses. So,
Well, I'm happy to have you guys here today.
yeah,
Thank you for joining
thank you.
us.
Good to be here.
So our discussion is pretty much just gonna be like this, but I kind of want to pick at you guys' brains a little bit, see how you feel about, our topic. So our first thing is really what are pollinators exactly? Like I'm sure you probably know what they are, but to the audience watching, what are they and how can you spot them?
Yeah. So pollinators are really any insect or animal that spreads pollen. So some of the more popular ones would be, bees, moths, butterflies, but birds, small mammals, even ants, and a certain type of wasp are also pollinators.
Mm.
There are even some types of flies. And yeah, even bats too. They're all pollinators and they're all really, really important and crucial to our environment. Yeah.
What are the importance of them, just in case people don't know?
Yeah. So what they do is they spread the pollen from different plants so that fertilizes all those plants. And then so then those plants grow and a lot of the plants, so every plant needs fertilization, and the only way they can get that is through pollinators. So that includes food, all the flowers in any flower store, and just our trees, the grass in your yard, and any type of vegetation you see every day, it's only thriving because of the pollinators.
Okay. So, well, that kind of leads to the next question. How do you think it helps the environment and the people? Just elaborate a little bit more on
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure. So without the pollinators, people wouldn't have any access to food. We need, grass to feed the cattle. We need, vegetables to sustain a healthy diet. We need fruits to sustain a healthy diet. And we can only get there with pollinators. Um, Flowers, I know a lot of people who love flowers. They're great. We can only get them with pollinators. They're just, we would not be thriving or even alive as a race or as, anything. Nothing would be living if it wasn't for these specific little pollinators. So.
Okay. So we now know the importance of them. What do you think we can do to help pollinators just as a community? Or as a whole, what do you think we can do to help?
Right. So the bottom line really is don't kill bees, don't capture butterflies, don't hurt moths. You can also get specific types of light bulbs for your outdoor lights that don't attract nocturnal animals or nocturnal pollinators like moths. Um, Also, you can create more biodiversity within your yard. So instead of just having grass, like most yards are, you can introduce clover, wildflowers, or any native plant to where you're living. And just doing that little bit alone is going to help provide so much more for all of these pollinators. Right now in my yard, I have clovers planted. I have some native Missouri wildflowers planted, and I have a beautiful yard full of bees, butterflies. I have a little ant hill, and it's thriving and it's in its own little ecosystem. So that's one of the best things you can do.
Okay. So, Sonia, I have a question for you. What do you do in your nature club?
So we learn all about the flowers and animals that live around the Discovery Center. Like we were on a nature walk and we saw a lot of turtles, some mallards, different types of birds, and we also learned about a couple species of flowers.
Okay. Why do you think it's important to plant native vegetation, sorry, as opposed to any other vegetation?
Some like not native vegetation can take over. Um, so that the other native vegetation that already grew might die because the other vegetation is taking over, which is why it's important to plant the native vegetation instead of just any vegetation.
Okay. And, knowing about everything that you know, how do you like your yard? Because y'all have done y'all have done stuff to make your yard a bit more, I mean, how would we say, well, you know, you y'all can explain it, but like, how do you like your yard compared to how it was before biodiversity was introduced to it?
Uh, Honestly, I like it better. There's a lot more clovers and flowers than there were before. And but before, as long as I can remember, before saw just the plain blade of grass, now it's like different lengths, different heights of grass and different flowers. Um, and I saw four-leaf clover like a month ago too.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. There's also a lot more bees and
Yeah, bees and
butterflies and
butterflies.
birds too. They're
Yeah.
also pollinators.
Yeah, Miette made friends with a crow.
Oh yeah, we have a neighborhood crow. Oh
That sounds fun.
yeah, they're really smart. They're lovely.
So, well, a question for both of you. What do you think are the effects of helping pollinators and the effects of the pollinators? What do you think? Sorry. What do you think are the effects of helping pollinators and the effects that the pollinators give to the environment?
Um, yeah, you can go first.
Okay. I think that I mean really the pollinators help to create like a more beautiful environment, and that's obviously like really good to like a lot of people in their mental health. It's nice to look outside and not see brown and gray and instead to see color and life and flowers. And um there's also with more pollinators comes more food, and with more food there's less hunger. And that's a lot more important. And with more, plants, there's more food for the animals. It's just, it creates a better ecosystem and it creates a better economy as well.
Okay. Sonia, do you have anything
Um,
to add?
yeah, remember when you planted those pollinator flowers at the school?
I
So
do.
yeah, so that also helped the pollinators. So the pollinators help flowers reproduce, right? And vegetation produces oxygen in the air, so that we can have more pure of oxygen. And actually, we're also helping vegetation too by breathing out carbon dioxide.
Yeah, of course, it brings more oxygen into the atmosphere for sure.
Okay, well, I think those were some great points that we covered today. I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to do this podcast. Hopefully, people learn something from it.
Of course,
Um,
of
yeah, well,
course.
thank you for joining us today. Where can our listeners get to learn more about you guys?
Um,
Or at least
There's
about, at least
like,
about like how you contribute to climate change.
okay, you can find any discovery center, any nature center near you. They have classes, they have resources. I got several free packets of native flower and native vegetation seeds from a discovery center, like a nature center near me. So they are happily handing out lots and lots of resources to increase not only the biodiversity, but to help decrease climate change and you know, other things.
It's also available, you can like look it up on any website or like Google or search, and you can search up like yeah, discovery centers near me, and you can plant your own little garden to help the pollinators and vegetation. It's really easy to do. All you have to do is plant one seed. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And thank you to our listeners. We're welcome to any questions and feedback. You can learn more about this program at youngclimate.net. That is youngclimate.net. Like I said, this is Young Climate, and I'm your host, Alexia. Thank you for joining us.